This video is a guide of ancient Italy and its places that I visited in August 2021. The video contains offensive language and should not be taken super seriously. I started my trip by crossing the Alps as Hannibal did over 2000 years ago. But unlike him, I didn't want to destroy Rome, but rather explore its glories. I started my journey in Brescia. It's a small Italian city in the northern Italy with some interesting monuments like Capitolini temple. But the truth is, I went to Brescia for something else. The only preserved bust of Roman Emperor Aurelian that probably exists. The Santa Giulia Museum has also one of the creepiest statues that I have ever seen in my entire life.
Oh my god! What's wrong with your face?
Next stop, Rome. Or Roma, as natives would say. By the way, I don't know if you're trolling here in this thread, but Rome is really called Roma in Italian and Latin. During my stay in Italy, I had a chance to visit a mecca of ancient Rome, the Colosseum amphitheater itself. Unfortunately, it ended up being a major disappointment. Don't get me wrong, the Colosseum is a supreme monument. The 2000 years old arena is still a remarkable historical proof of the Western architectural dominance, but only from the outside. From the inside, it is an overcrowded, cramped, hollow piece of overrated structure that offers no experience of the ancient gladiator fights whatsoever. Why is inside of Colosseum so overhyped? When you get inside, you see just bare bones of the Colosseum's former glory. Nothing resembles a great theater. The way the place is organized is also pretty terrible. If you miss something and you try to get back, the security will immediately jump on you. This is a one-way street, motherfucker! This shallow experience of a torso of once great remarkable amphitheater could be saved by the newly built stage that should give you the vibe of gladiator fights, but guess what? For that, you need a full experience stick. It was an awful experience and I was in and out in just 30 minutes.
That's what she said!
But I cannot stress that enough. Colosseum is a glorious piece of Roman architecture. But admire its glories from the outside. Resist the temptation to go inside. Closest thing to Colosseum that I can recommend visiting to get that awful taste out of your mouth are baths of Caracalla. They are not that far away from Colosseum. This magnificent piece of work that was built by Emperor Caracalla in 217 is 40 meters tall, just 8 meters shorter than Colosseum, and it used to have everything. Baths, hot pools, cool pools, swimming pools, gyms, library, wrestling pits, marble floors and walls, granite columns, hundreds of statues, all of it that was unfortunately completely stripped in the Middle Ages. The baths of Caracalla had a water consumption of 70 liters every second. Fires of 50 furnace ovens were kept burning day and night to heat the water that provided steaming baths. This monument is as awesome as exterior of Colosseum, but instead of epic gladiator fights you have to imagine people bathing. But don't worry, Roman women were also allowed. It's almost sad to see how neglected this place is.
This is kinda sad. No one is here. I mean, Caracalla was a dickweed, but he didn't deserve this.
But back to Colosseum. Next to it we have Great Arch of Constantine.
For the Emperor Caesar Flavius Constantine the Greatest, pious blessed Augustus, because by inspiration of divinity, in greatness of his mind with his army he avenged the Republic with just arms, the Senate and Roman people dedicated this arch as a sign for his triumphs.
The other two Roman arches of Septimius Severus and Titus are located on the Roman Forum. Titus I was built to honor his little holocaust in Palestine. I think we can call it that way. The Arch of Septimius Severus was dedicated to his Parthian victories in 198, that marked the 3rd out of 5th sackings of Ctesiphon, Persian capital. Even though the Roman Forum, the center of the everyday life in ancient Rome, isn't that preserved, we are lucky to have at least something, given that its former name was a cow field, because till the 18th century the place was used as a pasture for livestock. Strange thing to let your cows dine on the same place where Caesar was cremated and Romulus buried. Speaking of Romulus, we are now heading to Palatine Hill, the most important of the 7 hills of Rome.
That's debatable.
Romulus chose this particular hill to solve a dispute with Remus over the name of the newly founded city, because Romulus challenged his brother to a match of birdwatching. Whoever sees more birds would run down to an augur, and whoever has the higher bird number wins the duel. Man, couldn't you just make that number of birds up? Oh, you saw 23 board-headed eagles just 5 minutes ago, but you can no longer see them because they flew away? Yeah, sounds plausible, you win. Excuse me, my throat is kinda sore. Yeah, that's better. Anyway, Romulus saw 12 birds, while Remus saw only 6, but he claimed he saw them first. The bird competition was eventually won by Romulus, who killed his brother, and the city was named after him, Roma. Shouldn't be called Romula? On the Palatine Hill, the Roman emperors had also their palaces. The hill provides a great view. You can see Colosseum from here, as well as Circus Maximus. On the Palatine Hill you can also find a very special museum built by you know who. This is a column of Trajan, which depicts some pretty brutal scenes from his Dacian campaigns in the 2nd century. Fun fact, the shape of Trajan's column is actually formed by the real life size of Trajan's genitalia. Further up north we have Pantheon, one of the most preserved Roman buildings, mainly due to the fact that its concrete contains volcanic ash, and also was frequently used as a church since the 7th century, when Pantheon was gifted to Pope by Eastern Emperor
Fuck-ass.
Eastern Emperor Fuck-ass. Well, I guess Emperor Fuck-ass wouldn't really like Emperor Poopy-anus. Hadrian's Mauesoleum on the other side of Tiber is an interesting monument, but there is almost nothing neither outside nor inside that resembles ancient Rome. The urns and ashes of Roman emperors were scattered by Visigoths during sacking of Rome in 410. The Milvian Bridge was a place of historical battle between Constantine the Great and usurper Maxentius. A famous story tells us how Constantine saw a symbol of Christ before the battle and ordered his soldiers to paint it on their shields. And when Maxentius stepped out of Rome to meet his Christian rival head-on, he was defeated. Maxentius and his army then tried to retreat to Rome via the Milvian Bridge, but a part of the bridge collapsed and Maxentius drowned in the river. The bridge was then reconstructed and it looks solid. Let's put it to a test.
Yeah, it looks solid.
Aurelian's walls were built to protect the city of 1 million in the 3rd century. After Emperor Aurelian defeated barbarians that got dangerously close to Rome, he realized that when he dies, not every emperor after him is gonna be such a barbarians defeating Chad like him, so he ordered Aurelian walls to be built. I tried to establish a connection with the wall, but it was futile.
"Tell me your secrets," I whispered, but the wall was silent.
There are also 2 must-see museums for Roman vibos, Vatican and Capitol museums, because they have the largest collection of statues of Roman emperors in the world. There's
Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, Emperor Nero is gone. Galba, Vespasian, Titus, Domitian, Nerva, Trajan is fun. Trajan, Hadrian, Trajan undercover. Here is also Hadrian naked, right next to his gay lover. Titus, Doninus, Pius, Marcus, Aurelius as a kid. Commodus when he was his shit. Pertinax, Severus again, Caracalla, la la la. Macrinus, Julia, Domina, Caracalla's murdered brother, get out. Lucius Verus completely naked, oops, I should borrow out his nipple. This is no way how Claudius looked like, because he was a cripple. Alexander Maximinus, infamous Gabbalus in his gayness. Gordian first, second and third, right next to Pupianus. Philippus, Decius, Claudius, Aurelian, Gallienus, Probus, Constantinus, Chorus, Constantine the Great, one of his sons. Collins or Honorius, Hot Tiberius, bored by me when this video is done.
Above all that, there is Capitoline wolf with Romulus and Remus, bronze equestrian statue of Marcus Aurelius. Nope, not this one outside, that's a replica. The real one is inside. And a bust of Constantine the Great. Or, I really shouldn't say bust, because it is a head of a colossal statue along with some other remnants of his body. It's chilling to know Constantine also had flat feet. Hadrian's villa on the outskirts of Rome is a rather neglected archaeological place. All that I can think about is how much money would I have to earn to build something like this. But I would be much more modest. A large artificial terrace is not needed, but a temple would be nice. One theater is sufficient, I don't need 3. Imperial Palace, duh, I need to sleep somewhere. A pool. It's a pretty much standard of modern housing, so why not? Maybe with a little less of naked male statues. A dining room, where else would I eat? A large bath. You need a bathroom. Oh wait, there are 2 Roman baths here. I guess when guests come by. What else do we have here? A fish pond and a garden with olive trees to get a little closer to Mother Nature.
You know something? I take it back.
Right next to Rome is Ostia, once vital Roman seaport that supplied the great city with grain from Africa and Egypt, fell into disuse after collapse of the Roman Empire in the 5th century. When Rome became a small town with a population of thousands, Ostia seaport outlived its usefulness. It's cool to finally visit a city that I had to defend so much in Total War Rome 2 Rise of the Republic Roman campaign. But even Ostia got nothing on our next station. Time to say goodbye to Rome and head further south. We make a small stop at Beneventum. At this place, Romans finally defeated Perhos in 274 BC. The dominance of this place is the Trajan's Arch, again dedicated to his Dacian campaign. And unlike those arches in Rome, this one doesn't have a fence around it. Pompeii, the city that 2000 years ago was buried in the eruption of the Vesuvius volcano. Fun fact, it was stones that destroyed the city, not lava. Since AD 79, when Pompeii was buried, people forgot where the ancient city once stood until the 17th century, when the excavations began. And since then, the discovery of once lost city continues, and the city got everything. Roads, paintings, atriums, altars, gardens, street names, graveyards, various goodies, ancient fast food restaurants, the famous mosaics of Alexander the Great and of the dog. A real dog, a pigeon, dead bodies, an amphitheater that could hold up to 20,000 spectators.
Kinda development oversight to build an arena that big in a city that has only 15,000 people and a volcano.
Bones, Minotaur, partial nudity.
Oh yeah.
The Room.
Oh, hi, Mark.
More dead bodies. And the bad boy himself. Let me just shut the hell up for a minute and give you a time to absorb all this. We end up our trip in Cannae, the place of the largest defeat of the Roman army by Hannibal. The Romans decided to throw absolutely everything they had at him in the Battle of Cannae.
After 2 days of skirmishing, Roman and Carthaginian forces finally meet on the banks of the Aufidus River. The Roman army is relying on brute strength to smash through the Carthaginians. Hannibal could use this relentless push against them.
The site provides a great view over the place of the battle site, which today is a vineyard. Even though Romans were defeated, they didn't give up, and they continue to fight against Hannibal and Carthage in Spain and Africa. But those are places for some other time.
Gosh, that Italian family at the next table sure is quiet.